We often imagine God as the ultimate being. He is all-powerful, all-knowing, and all-good. This traditional view of God presents a compelling problem. The problem is evil. How can a good God exist alongside suffering and wickedness? This is the crux of the problem of evil. The existence of evil seems to contradict God's nature. If God is all-powerful, he could stop evil. If he is all-knowing, he would know about it. And if he is all-good, he would want to prevent it. Yet evil persists. This creates a logical dilemma. Philosophers call this the inconsistent triad. It's like trying to fit three puzzle pieces together that just don't align. Can we reconcile God's goodness with a world filled with pain, injustice, and suffering? This question has troubled theologians and philosophers for centuries. The problem of evil is not just an intellectual exercise. It's a question that resonates deeply with human experience. We see suffering in our own lives and in the world around us. This makes the problem of evil both intellectually stimulating and emotionally charged. One attempt to reconcile God and evil is the free will defense. This argument suggests that God allows evil because it's a necessary consequence of human free will. It argues that a world where humans can choose to do good is better than a world where they have no choice but to be good. Think of it like this. A robot programmed to be kind isn't truly good. True goodness comes from making the conscious choice to be good, even when faced with the option to do wrong. This, according to the free will defense, is the kind of world God wanted to create. However, the free will defense has its critics. One major criticism is that it doesn't adequately address natural evils. Natural evils are events like earthquakes, tsunamis, and diseases, things that cause suffering but aren't a direct result of human choices. If God is truly all-powerful and all-good, why wouldn't he prevent these natural disasters that bring about so much pain and devastation? The free will defense seems to fall short in explaining these instances of suffering. This leads us to explore other theodicies. Another theodicy, the soul-making theodicy, tackles the problem from a different angle. This view, championed by philosophers like John Hick, argues that suffering is necessary for spiritual growth. Just as a blacksmith uses fire and force to shape metal into a useful tool, God allows suffering to shape us into better beings. The idea is that a world without challenges wouldn't allow for the development of virtues like compassion, courage, and resilience. Imagine a world without any obstacles or hardships. Would we develop the same depth of character and moral fiber? The soul-making theodicy suggests that we wouldn't. However, this theodicy also faces criticism. Critics argue that the amount of suffering in the world often seems excessive and gratuitous. Is the sheer amount of pain and suffering we witness really necessary for soul-making? Do events like genocide, childhood cancer, and natural disasters truly contribute to spiritual growth in a way that justifies their existence? The soul-making theodicy, while offering a different perspective, still leaves some grappling with the intensity and magnitude of suffering in the world. Section 4. The Cry of Innocence. Ivan Karamazov's indictment of God. The problem of evil finds a powerful voice in literature, particularly in Fyodor Dostoevsky's novel. One of the brothers, Ivan, presents a searing indictment of God in the face of innocent suffering. Ivan's argument centers on the suffering of children. He argues that no matter the theological justification, no amount of future happiness or spiritual growth can ever justify the suffering of an innocent child. Ivan's argument is a visceral, emotional response to the problem of evil. He rejects the idea that these children are somehow complicit in a grand cosmic drama. To him, their suffering is a moral outrage, a stain on the very idea of a loving God. Ivan's perspective, though fictional, gives a powerful voice to the raw, emotional toll that the problem of evil takes on us. His refusal to accept easy answers forces us to confront the rawness of suffering, particularly the suffering of those who are most vulnerable. Ivan's argument is a stark reminder that the problem of evil is not just an abstract philosophical puzzle, but a deeply human one. Section 5. An unanswered question, the enduring riddle of evil. The problem of evil remains one of the most enduring and challenging questions in philosophy and theology. Theodicies like the free will defense and the soul-making theodicy offer possible explanations, but they are not without their flaws and counter-arguments. The sheer scale of suffering, particularly the suffering of innocence, continues to challenge our understanding of a benevolent God. While there are no easy answers, grappling with the problem of evil can lead to a deeper understanding of our own beliefs and values. It forces us to confront the difficult realities of the world we live in and to consider what kind of world we believe God, if He exists, would create. Ultimately, the problem of evil remains an open question, a source of ongoing debate and reflection for anyone who seeks to understand the nature of God and the existence of suffering.